Hello students, good morning. Hello everybody. Welcome back to my class. Students, as you know that we are going through the chapter quadratic equations from class 10 mathematics. And in previous sessions we have learned how to solve different types of quadratic equation and how to find their roots. Today I am going to show you a different method of solving a quadratic equation. The method is known as completing the square method. Completing the square method. Students, in this method, a given quadratic equation is written in the form of a whole square. Either it is a plus b whole square. We all know a plus b whole square equals to a square plus 2ab plus b square. Or it is a minus b whole square equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Or it is a plus b multiplied with a minus b, that is a square minus b square. So a given quadratic equation, we have to change it in the form of a whole square and then solve afterwards. Okay, so here I am going to show you one simple example how to use this method to solve a quadratic equation. The first question is x square minus 6x plus 3 equals to 0. This is a quadratic equation. We can solve it in different way, but here it is mentioned in the question to use the completing the square method. Okay, so first of all, just make the first term as the target one. Write it in the form of whole square. As you know, x square can be written in the form of x whole square. So this is x whole square. Then the middle term is 2ab, as we know in the identity that a minus b whole square is equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. Okay, I'm going to use this identity here. So first term is already written in the form of whole square, x whole square. Now the second term is minus 2ab minus 2. What is a? A is the number inside the bracket. Whatever is there inside the bracket, that is a. So it is x. And what should be b such that this 2ab will be equals to minus 6x. Means we have to put some value here of b such that this value and this value will be same. That means after putting a value of b here, it will become minus 6x as it is there. Now think of a number. 2, 3 are 6. So we can put 3 here. Then you can see that minus 2 into multiplied with x into 3, that gives minus 6x. Okay. So this 3 is b. This 3 is b. So write here b square. Okay. Now let me do one thing. Let me introduce one more step here before. First of all, it is general practice to take the constant term to the right hand side. Always when you will start this sum, take the constant to the right hand side. Okay. So now here you can see that these two terms, x square minus 6x, is written in the form of a square minus 2ab, and since we have considered 3 as b, that is why it is b square, means 3 square. But you can see that 3 square was not there in the left hand side. It has been added extra. So since it is added to the left hand side, 3 square, so it should be added to the right hand side also to keep the value same. So here it was minus 3 and 3 square. Just let me explain it once more. In the left hand side it was x square minus 6x, and right hand side is minus 3. To make it in the form of a square minus 2ab plus b square, I have added 3 square here. to the left hand side, and since it is added to the left hand side, then it must be added to the right hand side also to make it equivalent. Okay, now see, it is already in the form of a square minus 2ab plus b square. That means a square minus 2ab plus b square means what? A minus b whole square. So it will become a minus b whole square. Here a is x and b is 3. Just compare it, it is matching or not. Okay, and this side, let me simplify. So this x minus 3 whole square is equals to, here it is 6. X minus 3 whole square equals to plus minus root 6. The right hand side we have to write in the form of whole square, since we know that both the positive and negative value of a number, the square becomes positive. Here it was plus 6, so if I want to write in the form of whole square, then there will be root, and since it is square, so I have to put both the positive and negative value. So, because plus root over 6 whole square is also 6, minus root over 6 whole square is also 6. Okay, so both sides are in the form of whole square. Now I have to remove the square. If I am removing the square from both sides, then what we will get? X minus 3 equals to plus minus root 6. Is it clear? Therefore, what is x? X will, this minus 3 will become plus 3 to the right hand side. So it will be 3 plus minus root 6. Now you can see that we have got two values of x. These two values are known as the roots. Therefore, roots are, the first value is 3 plus root 6 and the second one is 3 minus root 6. Okay, just go through the whole thing again. Our quadratic equation is given to us. The constant term should be taken to the right hand side, and the left hand side will be written in the form of whole square. Here we can see the left hand side can be written in the form of a minus b whole square, where this b square was not there in the left hand side. It has been added to both left hand side and right hand side to keep the equation equivalent. So here I have added 3 square, that's why I have to add 3 square to the right hand side also. The left hand side becomes a minus b whole square, that is x minus 3 whole square, and right hand side we have to simplify. Then both the left hand side and right hand side we have to write in the form of whole square. Since it is already in the form of square, 6 is written in the form of plus minus root over 6 whole square. As we know that plus root over 6 square is 6, as well as minus root over 6 whole square is also 6. Therefore, now we have to remove the square from both sides. So we are getting two values of x. These are the roots. So roots are 3 plus root over 6 and 3 minus root over 6. Okay. So in this way, we have to apply the method called the completing the square method. Okay. Let me show you one more example. So here another example, 8x square minus 14x minus 15 equals to 0. So the first step is to take the constant to the right hand side. 8x square minus 14x equals to 15. Now we have to look to make the left hand side in the form of whole square, either a plus b whole square or a minus b whole square or a plus b into a minus b form, that is a square minus b square. So here you can see it is minus 14x. Naturally we have to use a minus b whole square. Now first term is 8x square. We all know that 8 is not a perfect square. So first of all we have to make it perfect square. So there are two ways: either divide the whole equation by 8, so it will become x square, so we can write it in the form of whole square, or we have to multiply this 8 by a certain number such that it becomes a whole square. Now if you are going to divide it by 8, then there will be a case of fractions. This will become 14 upon 8, this will become 15 upon 8. So it is not easy to tackle those fractions to convert them in the form of whole square. So my advice, instead of dividing this by 8, multiply with such a number such that it becomes a whole square. Now we all know 8 2s are 16, 16 is a whole square. So let us multiply the whole equation by 2. Okay, multiplying the equation by 2, we get what we are getting. This becomes 16x square minus 28x equals to 30. Okay, now we have to write it in the form of whole square. So 16x whole square, 16x square can be written as 4x square. Now the identity used here will be a minus b whole square equals to a square minus 2ab plus b square. So we have already got a. What is a? A is 4x. The middle term is 2ab. 2ab. So we have to write this 28x in the form of 2ab. Let us check whether it is coming or not. Of course it has to come. So 2, then a is 4x. Now think of a number which will be multiplied with 2 into 4x such that the product become 28x. I think you have guessed it. So it is 7 upon 2. Just check it. 2 cancelled, 4 7 are 28x. So it is matching. Okay. That means b is, this 7 upon 2 is b. So here you have to write b square. Now you can see that in the left hand side this 7 upon 2 square does not exist. I have added extra here to make it in the form of a minus b whole square. So since 7 upon 2 whole square is added to the left hand side, so it should be added to the right hand side also. That is 30, it was already there, and 7 upon 2 whole square. Okay. So left hand side is now in the form of a square minus 2ab plus b square, where a is 4x and b is 7 upon 2. So it becomes 4x minus 7 upon 2 whole square is equals to 30 plus this is 49 upon 4. So 4x minus 7 upon 2 whole square equals to 1, this is 120, 169 upon 4. Now the left hand side is already in the form of square. We have to write the right hand side also in the form of square. 169 is the square of 13 and 4 is the square of 2. So this 169 upon 4 can be written in the form of 13 upon 2 whole square, plus minus both. Remember this, because the square of positive is positive, the square of negative is also positive. So here in place of 169 upon 4 we have to write 13 upon 2 plus minus whole square. Hope you have understood this part. Okay. Now the left hand side and right hand side both are in the form of square. We have to remove the square from both sides. So it is 4x minus 7 upon 2 equals to plus minus 13 upon 2. That means 4x equals to, this 7 upon 2 will become plus minus 7 upon 2 will become plus 7 upon 2, and this is plus minus 13 upon 2. That means 4x equals to, so we have to take both the values, positive and negative. So if we are taking the positive value, then 7 plus 13 is 20, 20 upon 2 is 10. Or when we are going to take the negative value, 7 minus 13 is minus 6, minus 6 upon 2 is minus 3. So x equals to 10 upon 4, and here x equals to minus 3 upon 4. 10 upon 4 in the simplest form is written as 5 upon 2, and here x equals to minus 3 upon 4. So therefore we are getting two values of x. These two values are known as the roots. Therefore roots are 5 upon 2 and minus 3 upon 4. Okay, just quickly go through the whole thing. Hope you have understood the process. It is a little bit different. We have not done this earlier, but sometimes it is mentioned in the question paper, that is board question paper or any other exam, to use the completing the square method. In that case we have to use the method, otherwise you will not get the marks. Okay, you will not get full marks. See here, both the examples which I have done just now, they contain even number as the middle term. The first case, it was x square minus 6x plus 3, and the second case 8x square minus 14x minus 15 equals to 0. Here both the middle terms are even. Sometimes the middle terms are given as odd. In that case it becomes a little bit difficult to make it a perfect square. Now let me give one example where the middle term is not even. 2x square minus 7x plus 3 equals to 0. Now why I am telling about even and odd? In case of even number, if the middle term is even, it is very easy to make it in the form of a minus b whole square or a plus b whole square or a square minus b square. But when the question comes where you will find odd number as the middle term, in that case you have to think a bit by which number it should be multiplied or divided, so that our task becomes easier. Now as usual I have told you, if you are going to divide this by 2, the whole equation, then this will become x square, which can be written in the form of x whole square, but this will become 7 upon 2, this will become 3 upon 2. They are fractions and it is not easy to convert them into a whole square. Okay, you have to think a lot. So what I am trying to do, I am trying to multiply the given equation with such a number such that the first term becomes a whole square. It is quite easy that since it is 2x square, let me multiply it by 2. So it will become 4x square. This will become 7 multiplied by 2, 14, and this will become 6. There will be no problem. But problem arises somewhere else. Whenever you will get odd number in the middle term, don't multiply with smaller number, just multiply with little bit bigger number such that this becomes a whole square. Okay. Let me show you. If I am going to multiply this by 2, then what is the problem arising here? Okay, so let me multiply this equation by 2. So this becomes 4x square, this becomes 14x, and as I have told, this will go to the right hand side, it will become minus 3 multiplied with 2 is minus 6. First of all we have to take the constant term to the right hand side. 2x square minus 7x equals to minus 3. Then these two equations are being multiplied with both sides. We have to multiply with the 2, so it becomes 4x square minus 14x equals to minus 6. Now since 4x square can be written in the form of whole square, so it is 2x whole square minus 2a is 2x. Now we have to think of a number here which will be multiplied with these two, and the product will become minus 14x. Naturally, you will not get any whole number, because this is 2 2s are 4. 4 if you multiply with 2 it becomes 8, multiplied with 3 it becomes 12, multiplied with 4 it becomes 16. So if you are going to multiply this with a whole number, you will never get 14x. So we have to multiply with 7 upon 2. 2 to cancelled, 7 2s are 14x. That means b is a fraction. So we have to add 7 upon 2 whole square both sides. Again, there is a lot of involvement of fractions. So I'm not going to multiply with 2. Okay. Let me complete this step. So 2x whole square minus it is already in the form of a minus b whole square, 2x minus 7 upon 2, as I have added 7 upon 2 both sides because b is 7 upon 2. So 7 upon 2 is added to both sides, left hand side and right hand side. 7 upon 2 whole square. So this will be minus 6 and this will be 14 upon 4. So here it will be 25 minus 24 plus 49 upon 4, that is 25 upon 4, that is plus minus 5 upon 2 whole square. Okay, so we are getting whole square from both sides. Now I am not telling you to multiply with not to multiply with 2 or any other number. You can multiply with any number, you can divide with any number to make it a perfect square. But problem arises whenever there is odd number in the middle and you are going to multiply with 2, then case of fraction arises and our calculation become much tough. Now check what I am going to do. Instead of multiplying this 2 by 2, I am going to multiply with some bigger number. Now think of a number. The next, since I am not multiplying with 2, so I have to multiply with some bigger number. So multiply with 3, it gives 6. It is not a perfect square. 4, it will become 8, not a perfect square. By 5, it becomes 10. It is also not a perfect square. So 6, 7 will not do. Naturally, I have to multiply this equation by 8. Then 8 2s are 16, which is a perfect square. So when I am multiplying the whole equation by 8, it becomes 16x square, this becomes 56x, and this becomes minus 24. Now this is 16 is a perfect square of 4. So this is 4x whole square minus 2a. We have to make it 56. So we have already got 2 4s are 8. And 8 7s are 56. We can use whole number here. Okay. So here b is 7. So this is 2 4s are 8, 8 7s are 56. It is matching. That means I don't have to use any fraction. I can use whole number here to make it in the form of whole square. So here b is 7. That means I have to add 7 square to both sides. Okay. So this is 4x minus 7 whole square, and this is minus 24 plus 49, that means plus 25. Now see, no fractions are there. Calculation is much easier. Okay. So if you wish to multiply with 2 or divide it by 2, you can do it. There is no problem. You will get full marks. But if you are going to use a little bit bigger number, then your calculation will be reduced, and the steps will also be reduced, and it will become much easier for you to find the roots. So here it is 4x minus 7 whole square, and this 25 can be written as plus minus 5 whole square. That is 4x minus 7 is equals to plus minus 5. So here 4x equals to 7 plus minus 5, or we can write 4x equals to, if I am going to take positive value, 7 plus 5 is 12, and if I am going to take the negative value, 7 minus 5 is 2. So 4x equals to 2. Therefore x equals to 12 upon 4 is 3, and here x equals to 2 upon 4 is 1 upon 2. Therefore the two roots are 3 and 1 upon 2. Understood? So there is no binding that you have to use bigger number or smaller number. You can choose any number, but that number should be such that your steps are reduced, your calculations become easier and simple. Then you can solve any problem related to this completing the square method. Okay, so hope you have understood the method. I shall try to do some more sums in the next session. I'm concluding the session here. Till then, goodbye and have a nice day. Let me return back in the next section.